Jack Neighbour has announced the Springbok squad for the Rugby World Cup, and there are a couple of notable omissions. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Okay, so first we'll have a quick rundown of the squad, then we'll talk about some of the players who have been left out, and then we'll look a little bit more in detail at the squad itself. So forwards, you got Stephen Kitsoff, Vincent Koch, Franz Malherbe, Oxenche, Trevor Nyakanye, Malcolm Marks, Bongion Bonambi, Evan Etzebeth, Marvin Ori, R.G. Snyman, John Klein, Peter Steptotoy, Quagga Smith, Sia Khaleesi, Marco van Staden, Dwayne Vermeulen, Franco Mostert, Jasper Visa, and Dion Free. In the backs, then we have Faf de Klerk, Jaden Hendrickse, Grant Williams, Corbus Reinhardt, Manny Lebok, Damian Willemse, Jesse Creel, Andre Esterhazen, Kurtley Aronse, Damien Dialende, Chesn Colby, Willie Leroux, Makazole Mapimpi, and Kanan Moody. Okay, so players left out, like the big players people have been talking about. Noah Kanyuam, big surprise there with him. Hasn't been in the greatest of form, but I thought that he would go just for what he's done in the past. But obviously, maybe he still will end up there because injuries happen. But at the moment, not going to the World Cup. Then you got Andre Pollard, very surprised there as well. That didn't bring him as an option of 10, because like Manny Lebok seems to be the starter at 10. Damien Willemse, I'm not that convinced of him actually starting at 10. I think he's maybe going to be the 23rd man covering 10 and fullback, but not really, I don't think he, in a top test, I'm not sure he's the player that you want guiding the team there. Lebok does have issues himself, but I think he's a better option. And that's probably why I thought that Pollard would have gone. Then Luke de Jager not going either. I think some of the other locks just stepped up ahead of him. Like you had John Klein and R.G. Snyman just coming, I think, over the top of him in that regard. In terms of hookers, Joseph Dweber not going. For him, he's shown like he had a really good season for the Stormers this year, but he's also shown that he is prone to silly mistakes and giving away silly penalties. I think that maybe counted against him in terms of selection. In terms of then the other forwards, you got Evan Roos, didn't get picked, but I think it was just so much in terms of in terms of competition there. I think the fact that Vermeulen and Peter Steptotoy played their way back up to kind of test level through the Rugby Championship kind of helped their case, and maybe was the deciding factor in terms of him not getting selected. And then in the backs as well, you got a lot. I think maybe Mapimpi, I thought was kind of lucky to actually get into the squad overall. I think actually let's talk about the squad itself. So we start with the backs, then we move back up to the forwards. So yeah, I think Mapimpi is probably at the moment is maybe fourth choice winger, because like Kurtley Aronse, I'd say is first choice. Cheslin Colby, probably second choice, but most of that is on past performance. And Kanan Moody has shown, especially that game against Argentina, the last one, that he's absolutely born for Test rugby. I think Mapimpi, if there was another winger who was really showing it, I think he would have been excluded from the squad. In terms of the other things in the back, like 4 scrum halves is a bit strange. Some players have been said that that they can cover other positions. But I think those are kind of in emergencies, kind of similar to the fact that Ireland had Healy registered as a hooker just for emergencies, not really intending for him to play in the Six Nations. He did have to scrum down there, but didn't actually have to take the throw-ins because Josh van der Fleer actually then was the emergency thrower into the line out as well. So, when they're talking about nines covering other positions, I think that's kind of a similar thing, whether it's wing or centre or fly half. Then, the fly halves, you really got Lubbock and Willemse there. I think Lubbock should be the starter. Willemse, as I said, I think I see him as the 23rd man, basically providing that cover from the bench. I think Esterhuizen, for me, looked really solid. Really good option in the Rugby Championship. I thought he would miss out on selection. I thought Am was going to go, but I'm very happy to see him going. Dale Ende, it could have actually come down to basically between him and Am for selection for that, but I'm not sure because I think, Dale Ende is probably going to be a starter in the Rugby World Cup as well. But then you got Creel in there too. So really good selection in the backs and some, excellent players, the likes of Am left there as well. In the forwards then, Kitshoff has shown, I think this Rugby Championship that the guy is absolute gold dust and, he should start in the World Cup. I know they love their bomb squad and all that kind of stuff and he's part of that, but as a starter, he offers a lot more and his threat at the breakdown is just so good. Imagine him and Marks there, getting over the ball at the breakdown and maybe Quagga Smith in there as well. They have multiple threats at the breakdown, which means that oppositions have to put more players into those breakdowns to secure their own ball and then therefore, takes men out of their attacking line as well. The likes of Oxenche, hopefully he is okay for the World Cup. He's got, he picked up a bit of a knock, right? Cox, Malherbe, fantastic player as well. And Cock and Kanye, decent players there too. Bongi and Banambi as well, another, really good talent there, I think, in the front row. Second rows then, you got Etzbeth, who was, absolute head and shoulders starter for them. And then you got options with, Ori, Snyman and Klein as well there. John Klein showed he can do that and force the role if Etzbeth isn't there, but he can also, play alongside him too. And you got Snyman, who hasn't had that many minutes with Munster or really with the Springboks either, but every time you see him, he is getting back to the beast that we know that he is. The back rows then, you got Peter Steph du Toit. Again, I spoke about, at the start of the Rugby Championship, looked a little bit off the pace. Himself and Vermeulen both kind of actually looked like that, but then worked their way into the competition and got better and better as it went on. Sia Khaleesi obviously will be coming back from injury to play, but he's just such a talented rugby player that I think he's that type of player that you can just put him straight into the team and he will deliver for you. Quagga Smith, a great threat at the breakdown for them. Marco Van Staden, I thought, was very good in the Rugby Championship as well. The likes of Mozart, Visa and Fourie as well. Fourie, another great threat at the breakdown too, but I think Mozart and Visa can give you something there in the back row as well. Getting that balance right between those players, and I wouldn't want to be the one picking the back row for the box because you're going to have to be leaving out some very special players, I think, from that. And looking at the strength of that squad, even though South Africa now, I think they've slipped to 4th in the world, right? Because New Zealand have come over the top of them. But, looking at the squad as an Irish fan, I'm getting more worried about facing them in the pools now. When you see that array of names, especially the forwards on paper, it really is a daunting task to take them on. But let me know what your thoughts are on the squad, players who made it that you didn't think would, and players who got left out you thought would have gone, and just what do you think of this whole 4 scrum half thing as well.